You know, a lot of people ask me, what does it take to become a professional networker? What does it take to live the life of your dreams, to build a business that will allow you to have whatever you want, to travel, to have family times, to have a great bank balance, just to live a free life? What does it take in this industry of network marketing? When I first started out on my journey in Forever, 22 years ago now, I was like so many of you in this room that are maybe here for the first time or have maybe only been with Forever for a few months. I was nervous. I was anxious. I had all the concerns and the worries and the doubts. Would it work? Could I do it? Would people listen to me? Would they laugh at me? Would they reject me? All of these things were going on in my mind. And if you're having these feelings yourself right now, that's okay. It's normal. But what I want to do, if I can, is share a few key points with you that is going to open your mind to the potential of your own capabilities, to the potential of you being able to go from being a new FBO to becoming a professional networker and being proud of it. Because I'm proud to say that I'm a professional network marketer. So I wanted to share a few key points with you to maybe prepare you for your journey. And the first thing I want to share with you, to become a brilliant networker, to become someone who's comfortable and competent and at ease and in control, the first thing that you have to consider is that you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision that you are going to become the best you can be with your prospecting activity. You need to make a decision because without you making that decision, you haven't connected with the potential. You need to make a decision that this matters, that this opportunity that you have committed to is important. Because until you make that decision, that you are going on the journey, that you are going to become the professional networker, nothing happens. Yeah, you'll do a bit, but you'll never connect 100% with the activity that you need to be doing. So you need to make that decision today that you have joined Forever to be successful. Not to give it a go, not to try, not to see if it will work, but to be successful. And success means different things to different people. Initially, when you first start out on your journey, success could be making that £300 or £400 a month to give you breathing space. Success could be that you want to make an income that will allow you to leave your job, to have more time with your children, your loved ones. But success is ever growing. Success doesn't stop when you achieve the first goal. It is a journey, but you need to make that decision. Now, once you've made the decision that you're going to be successful, you have to consider your mindset. Because making the decision is one thing, but actually following through day in, day out, week out, month in, month out is another thing. And I see all too often huge potential in people. And that potential is left unrecognized because of their mindset. What do I mean by that? Well, so many people have got challenges, problems, concerns, things that have happened in their life in the past that are dictating the way they think today and what they can potentially achieve in the future. And for many of you that were here yesterday, you will have heard Richard McCann's incredible presentation. And if we consider what Richard has been through in his past, one could say that would have a negative impact on his future. But he decided to do what everyone in this room can do, and that is recognize this. The past is the past. We cannot influence the past. We can only influence the future. So therefore, make your peace with anything from your past that could stop you having a great life going forward. Becoming that professional network marketer. Becoming that person who's totally comfortable with the message, the opportunity, the products, and themselves. When I first started out in Forever, I'd gone through a particularly difficult divorce. I'd had a particularly tough time in my marriage. And for 18 months after my divorce, before I became involved in Forever, my mindset was awful. I believed I was worthless. I believed I was useless. I believed that I could never achieve anything. And that was purely based on what had happened in the past. And then one day, I had that paradigm shift. And I realized if I wanted to live the life that I was prepared to work for, that I had to change my way of thinking. Because if it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to you. And I decided to make peace with my past. I decided to get my mind right, to get my focus right, to stop making excuses and to focus on the possibilities. So I've made the decision. I've got my mindset right. What happens next? Well, the next thing that you have to understand is the concept of what we do. We are in the business of developing friends. Developing friends every single day. It's not about buy my product, buy my product, buy my product, join my team, join my team, join my team. That's not the way that we build a business. And you will meet people in our industry that are aggressive, that are always in your face, that always push, push, push the whole time. And what do we do when we meet people like that? We naturally go, whoa, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not interested, because we don't like being pushed. We don't like having somebody who's aggressively in our face the whole time. And this business is about creating relationships, developing friends and friendships that may be right in the moment for someone taking a look at our business or our products. But it could be that it could be a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 12 months down the line that they're ready to take a look. So it's the way that we perceive the people that we interact with and our relationship with them, and the way that we keep in contact with people, that will determine ultimately our success in sponsoring. You know, they always say that the fortune is in the follow-up, and I think that's a very wise statement. But the follow-up doesn't always have to be about the business. It can just be a friendly message, a friendly phone call. It could be having a coffee. But it's about developing those friendships. And I think you can only do that if you have joined the business with the mindset of I will be successful, knowing that success doesn't happen overnight. You have to work at it. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. And you see, when you have that kind of mindset, you will know that nurturing people will reward not just you, but them in the months and the years to follow. So that's what I've done over the years. I have developed friends. And you know, sometimes the people that I've connected with, have met, they haven't even wanted to buy the product or join forever. Does that mean to say that I suddenly don't want to know them, don't want to be involved with them? No. Because that friendship may take on another angle. It may become a referral. It may just be one of those good old-fashioned, solid, long-lasting friendships. You need to develop what we call positive daily habits. And these habits, I think, are crucial to the way that you embrace network marketing. Very often I see people write a list and they take some action on that list, but it's not consistent. It's not on a daily basis. They don't have a strategy on how many people a day they should be talking to or indeed adding to their list. And if you want to achieve your goals and dreams, you have to understand that prospecting is an ongoing daily activity. It is not something you do a bit here and a bit there and a bit one week and nothing another week. It should become a consistent activity. That does not mean to say that you don't need to address it and maybe amend it when there are times that you can't be so proactive. But for example, when I first started in Forever, I was a mum with kids at home, and obviously, like all mums and dads in the room, come the summer, the kids are at home. Now, it's really important to maybe look at your strategy for marketing during the times when you have more input with your children when they're not at school. It does not mean that you suddenly stop prospecting altogether. So what I used to do with my daily habits when the children were at home was I would maybe say, right, rather than speaking to 5 people a day, I'll speak to 2 people a day. And that became my daily habit in that moment. You see, this is all linked back to your mindset and your decision to be successful. And it's about the way a professional networker thinks. They don't have these periods where they're full on and then they do nothing for weeks, and they go full on, then they do nothing for weeks. That does not create a consistent approach to the way that you build a business. The other thing that you need to consider when we're looking at your daily habits are how many new people each day are you adding to your list? This is new people. This is not an existing list that you wrote maybe a week or a month or 6 months ago. This is every single day. And a good rule of thumb, when you start off on your journey and as you become more comfortable and you begin to focus on what's required to achieve your goals, a good rule of thumb is to add 2 new people every single day to your Who Do You Know list. Who can you connect with on a daily basis? Where do those new people come from? Well, they come from a multitude of ways, and over the next sort of 40 minutes with my team, we're going to share some ways that you can add 2 new people every single day to your list. But this needs to become a habit because you made the decision. You made the decision. You sorted your mindset out. And now you're focusing on your daily habits. Now here's the thing, as you're writing down notes about what I'm sharing with you, I want you to promise me that the note won't just be written down and then left in your book. That when you get home tonight, you'll ponder, consider what you've learnt in this section and say, how can I apply that to my business? Because if you're adding 2 new people a day to your Who Do You Know list, that's over 600 in a year. And as you begin to work your business effectively on a consistent basis, you will begin to see what we call your statistics emerge. And the more consistent you are in your approach on prospecting, the easier it is to see how effective you are. Because every phone call you make, you get a little better. Every interaction on social media you make, you get a little more effective. Every time you engage in conversation with someone you don't know when you're out and about, you become a bit more comfortable and a bit more competent. So right now, as you start on your journey, it could be that you may have to speak to 20, 30 people to get someone to come and have a one-to-one. And it may be that you have to do 5 one-to-ones to get someone to come to a BP. And it could be that you need 5 people come to a BP to recruit 2. But here's the exciting thing. If you have a strategy for building your business, within 90 days of consistent daily activity, you'll begin to see those stats get better. Suddenly it'll be down to speak to 10, and every 10 you speak to, you get 4 interested, and of the 4 that are interested, 2 come take a look, and of the 2 that take a look, 1 join the business. So you know that for every 10 you speak to, you're going to recruit at least 1, if not 2 people. And as we begin to embrace and begin to see those kind of statistics appear from our activity, we begin to realize that actually, by adding 2 people every single day to our list, out of over 600 new people that you add onto your list every year, you'll begin to see the potential of how many you can introduce into your business. And then it gets exciting. How many do I need to recruit to develop a supervisor? How many do I need to sponsor before I develop a manager? And once you get these statistics emerging in your business, everything becomes really clear. It did for me, because I'm not very good with figures. And so for me, I had to see, were my actions bearing me results? Could I measure my activity to see whether I was doing the right thing or not? And if I didn't measure my activity, how did I know if I was on track? And the whole key to measuring activity is to be consistent in your approach. Because you can't measure activity doing a bit one week and nothing the next week. So you find out what activity levels work for you and then commit to them 100%. You need to also consider about being prepared to be doing business no matter where you are. When you leave your home every single day, do you have with you all the necessary tools that you need to have to connect with people? Do you carry your flyers, your cards, your brochures? Do you carry a couple of products with you? Are you prepared for success? Because I'm telling you now, there is nothing worse than leaving your home, being brave enough to interact with someone, maybe at the school gates, at the gym, maybe when you're out and about, just in life, and you connect with somebody, you pluck up the courage, you make that connection, and then you've got nothing to give them. That's not great. So are you prepared every single day that you leave your home? Preparation isn't always just flyers and cards and products and brochures. Preparation is your story. Your story and your ability to have that 60-second communication with somebody, where somebody says to you, what do you do? And you're able to respond with confidence, with belief, immediately, and they are interested. Do you have your story in your toolbox? Do you have the stories of the people that you work with? Have you got your upline story? Do you have product stories? Do you have the story about the sportsman that you know in forever? Do you have the story based on someone who stood on the stage who was a nurse? Do you have the story about the woman who was a teacher? Do you have the story about the guy who worked in IT? Do you have the story about... Do you see where I'm coming from? Because we are in the business of sharing stories. We don't need to share specification. We need to share stories. And when you engage with people and you ask them questions and you show a great interest in them, and they tell you what they do and what their lives are like and what their family life is like and what their children are all about, and you say, do you know something? We have somebody in our team who's just like you, and you share the story. What that does is it allows your prospect, the person that you meet, to open up, because they believe that if somebody else like them can do this, then they can do it too. So you need to ask yourself, are you prepared? And Ruth yesterday did a phenomenal talk on retailing. And she said something that I hope all of you picked up on that were here yesterday. I focus on 10 products, and I've become the expert on those 10 products. So that when I speak to somebody, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's what you need to do. You need your stories on the products and on the people that you are potentially going to interact with. And then you need to be enthusiastic. People buy enthusiasm. They buy your caring heart. They buy your love. They buy your compassion. They buy your energy. They buy your physiology. They buy your smile. They buy the twinkle in your eye. They're excited about the fact that you're happy. How many people walk along nowadays like this? In fact, they don't walk like this, they're walking like this. And you see it in the streets, right? They're walking along like that. This is what I do when someone's walking along like this. I don't move out of their way. I stand absolutely still till they bang into me. Most people nowadays are just not connected to life. If you have a smile, if you have energy, if you have passion, if you stand tall and proud with your shoulders back and you love what you do, I tell you, that is attractive to the normal people. It's true. So become attractive to everybody around you. Become a magnet where you literally walk into a room and this smiley, happy person walks in and you're surrounded by this energy, because people will know and take notice of you. And it's much easier to engage with people when you have that energy. Now remember that this mustn't be false, this must be genuine. A genuine passion, a genuine energy, and a genuine connection to what you're doing. And if you think about the 6 key points I've made earlier, you become genuine when you connect in all of those areas. And finally, you need to think bigger. If you want to become a professional network marketer, you need to think bigger. And that doesn't mean the bigger house, the bigger car. I'm not talking about the material things. I'm talking about where you can take yourself. Who you can become, who you can take with you, who you can help, who you can coach, who you can mentor, who you can nurture, who you can bring the best out of. Think bigger. I know when you join network marketing, initially it's all about your immediate needs. I know that. It was for me. But once those immediate needs are met, then it should be, where can I go? And then when you go on that journey, it should be, who can I take with me? Because together, everybody achieves more. And with that in mind, what I want to do is just share one statement with you. And that is, success loves speed. Success loves speed. So when you're working with a brand new FBO, get their couple of launches booked in immediately. Get their goal setting done immediately. Get their planning done immediately. Help them work on their who do you know list immediately. Help them talk to some people immediately. Do not put anything off. Do it immediately.